So what is the exact moment an abstract thought, actually transforms into a physical, tangible object?
Oh, that is a huge question.
I mean, I want you to really think about that for a second. Imagine holding this incredibly vivid picture in your mind for years.
And you try to describe it to people.
Right. You describe it, and they just give you that, well, you know the look. That polite, slightly skeptical nod.
Like they're humoring you.
Exactly. And some of them might even secretly hope you just drop the whole thing because, frankly, the sheer scale of what you are trying to build makes them uncomfortable.
It challenges their own sense of what's possible, yeah.
But hold on. You don't let it go. You put in the hours, day after day, and then one morning you wake up and that abstract thought isn't just a picture in your head anymore.
It crosses over.
Yes. It is a physical object resting in the hands of a complete stranger halfway across the world.
It's the ultimate transition, taking something from the ethereal plane and literally forcing it to materialize in the concrete world. And experienced dream masters understand that manifesting a vision is not an accident. It's a deliberate, methodical process.
Okay, let's unpack this, because today's deep dive is an absolute celebration. I mean, we are throwing a party today.
We really are. It's a massive day.
The Dreams of Phillip Aisling and the Lucid Multiverse Book 2 is officially out in the world. Right now, today.
It's just a phenomenal milestone. But as you hinted at, the physical book is just the visible peak of this massive submerged structure.
Right. And I want to make sure, if you're listening, this deep dive isn't just a launch party for a product, though. Like I said, we are absolutely giddy about it.
Oh, totally.
But we are looking at this book as undeniable proof of a completely learnable skill. Because everybody is carrying something, right?
Everyone has that picture in their head.
Exactly. Whether you want to write a novel or build a business, overhaul your career, or just construct a life you can currently only imagine, there's this vast, terrifying distance between picturing a thing and actually holding it.
And crossing that distance is entirely possible.
It's like you've been describing this beautiful, elaborate house to your friends for years. And today, you finally just get to hand them the keys to the front door. We're going to break down exactly how you build the bridge across that distance.
Which really requires looking past the magic of the finished product and, well, examining the masonry. You have to understand the architecture of the invisible work.
Let's start right there with the invisible mechanics. Because when you hold Book 2 in your hands, you can easily just breeze through this intricate magical world on a Sunday afternoon.
It feels effortless to the reader.
Right. It feels frictionless. But the actual mechanics required to build that frictionless experience, it's staggering.
It's grueling work.
We are talking about mapping continuity across dozens of chapters and tying it back to prior books, making sure absolutely no plot lines are dropped.
Advanced practitioners in any field, whether we're talking about narrative design or software architecture, they know that complexity scales exponentially, not linearly.
Wait, break that down. Exponentially how?
Well, if you establish a hard rule about how a lucid dream functions on page 10 of book 1, you absolutely cannot contradict that physics engine on page 300 of book 2.
Right. The world breaks if you do.
Exactly. So keeping that reality intact requires building literal databases of lore. You're cross-referencing timelines. You're tracking the spatial geography of an entirely fictional universe.
Which brings up the quiet months. I mean, I hear you on the repetitive structural work, but let me challenge that premise for a second.
Go for it.
Because society tells us that creating something profound, something like this book, requires a sudden flash of genius, the muse descending from the heavens.
The whole chosen one narrative.
Right. You can't just engineer a beautiful narrative by putting in hours at a spreadsheet, right? Are we saying that lightning strike idea is just a myth?
It makes for highly entertaining fiction, sure, but it is a terrible roadmap for reality.
Terrible roadmap.
Yeah, because if you believe you have to be struck by lightning to create something meaningful, you're going to spend your entire life standing in an empty field just waiting for a storm.
Oh, wow.
The reality of inspiration is deeply tied to what cognitive scientists call the incubation phase. What's fascinating here is that when things look quiet from the outside, the dream isn't stalling, it's being built.
So what exactly is happening during those quiet months? Like when they're doing their 40th continuity pass or agonizing over an editor's notes?
They're feeding massive amounts of data into their brain. When you read the same chapter until the words look like an alien language, you aren't just tweaking grammar. That unglamorous, repetitive work forces the brain's default mode network to subconsciously synthesize complex threads.
So the flash of genius, it doesn't just happen out of nowhere.
Right. The flash usually happens when you're doing the dishes, but it only happens because you spent 300 hours mixing the mortar and laying the bricks beforehand. Dreams become real in the unglamorous repetitions nobody applauds, not at the finish line.
That completely reframes the idea of feeling stuck. If your own dream feels quiet right now, that is actually a good sign.
Invisible is not the same as stopped.
Exactly. And this launch day we're celebrating, that is merely the moment that becoming finally becomes visible.
Precisely.
Which naturally leads us to how this specific universe, the Phillip Aisling journey, evolved in plain sight over time. Because it proves this was a gradual build, a story in movements, rather than a lightning strike.
It was incredibly methodical if you trace it back.
Let's walk through that history. Movement 1 was all about building the vocabulary. We spent so much time exploring dream symbols, the dreamer's dictionary, the concept of déjà vu.
Because a shared language is the foundation. Before you can ask the audience to take a massive leap of faith, you have to teach them how to walk in your world.
And the comparison that just blew my mind early on was looking at a boy wizard's world versus a boy dreamer's world.
That contrast is so vital.
Right. In the wizard's world, the magic is external. You need a wand, you need incantations. But in the dreamer's world, the magic is entirely internal. You don't have a wand to save you. You only have your own psychological architecture.
And those who've mastered this know that building that internal architecture changes the rules of engagement. You aren't just handing the reader a fantasy, you're handing them a cognitive toolkit.
Which set the stage perfectly for movement 2. The bold questions.
Yes, the narrative started interrogating reality itself.
Asking things like, is waking reality actually wrong? Do timelines split based on cognitive choices? And why do some dreams feel more structurally dense and real than waking life?
When you ask questions of that magnitude, you demand that the audience participate in the existential experiment.
And that active participation. I mean, here's where it gets really interesting. That led directly to Movement 3, the Kickstarter campaign.
An unbelievable phenomenon.
Honestly, it's one of the most beautiful parts of this journey because we have to express deep, sincere gratitude here. People showed up and backed an unwritten book on pure, unadulterated trust.
They bought into the vision before it existed.
Yeah, I often compare it to people buying tickets for a train before the tracks are even laid. And what's so profound is that those passengers didn't just buy a ticket, they actually became part of the train itself. Their names are permanently etched inside the physical book.
We know from practice that community and trust are the invisible structures that hold up the final physical object. You cannot hand someone a complex piece of art without that invisible web of support buying the author the space to wrestle with the material.
It's so true. And all of this real-world creation, all this struggle to pull an idea into reality, creates this perfect thematic mirror inside the actual plot of Book 2.
The resonance is impossible to ignore. The mechanics of creation and the mechanics of the narrative are locked in perfect symmetry.
Right. Without getting plot-heavy or spoiling anything, the core theme early in Book 2 revolves around a brutal realization for Philip.
He figures out that reaching the impossible realm isn't the end of the game.
Far from it. He learns that what happens in a dream doesn't just politely stay inside the dream. The hardest skill isn't reaching the lucid realm. It's holding on to what you found there once you are back in the waking world.
From a cognitive perspective, Philip is battling the biological suppression of state-dependent memory.
Wait, biological suppression?
Yeah, the brain naturally suppresses the hippocampus during REM sleep to keep us from acting out our dreams. That same mechanism makes saving the memory of a dream incredibly difficult.
Oh, wow. So his brain is literally fighting it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Philip has to fight a biological imperative to drag his discoveries back across the boundary into reality. It requires rigorous, relentless integration.
So what does this all mean? Is the act of publishing this book basically the ultimate real-world application of the exact skill Philip is trying to master?
Unquestionably. The book itself is the exact same trick performed at a different scale. A creator steps into a realm of pure potential, finds a complex truth, and then performs the agonizing work of translating it into the waking world so others can hold it.
Carrying an idea across the boundary.
Precisely. Philip's struggle on the page is identical to the creator's struggle at the keyboard.
That is just... It's mind-blowing. And since holding on to the dream is a skill, both for Phillip and for the creator, this brings us to what this means for you listening right now.
The intellectual spine of this entire deep dive.
Yes, the core philosophy driving this whole universe. Nobody was chosen.
It is the most liberating truth you can internalize.
There was no magical gift. There was no prophecy. There was no destiny assigning this project to one specific person. There was just a practice.
A practice repeated for a long time, in private.
Right, when no one was watching. And this is the exact claim made about lucid dreaming itself. It's not a mystical talent reserved for a few chosen elites. It's a learnable skill available to anyone willing to do the boring part.
The reality checks, the dream journaling.
Waking up at 3 a.m. to reset your sleep cycles, all of it. So I'm going to gently offer this to you right now. If your own dream, whatever you're carrying, feels quiet and tedious right now, that is a good sign.
You are doing the masonry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Invisible is not the same as stopped. And naming the thing you are carrying moves it out of the fog and into the category of things that actually get finished.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, every single dream that comes true proves that the crossing works. When you see this book launch today, it proves the boundary is porous. And that proof belongs to everyone listening.
It belongs to you. The energy today is just incredible. But as we start to settle in and look at the view from the top of this mountain, and it is the beautiful view, I want to share the wildest part about actually finishing something.
The dream doesn't disappear when it comes true.
It doesn't. It multiplies. Finishing one massive vision just reveals 3 more doors down the hallway that you couldn't even see before.
You've upgraded your internal operating system.
Exactly. You built the capacity for more. Now, I'm directing you to exactly one place today. I need you to go to philipaisling.com.
philipaisling.com.
Go there, get book 2. Feel the actual physical weight of years of invisible work and unglamorous practice. Hold it in your hands. But as you do, I want to ask you one direct question.
This is the crucial part.
What is the dream you are still in the middle of?
What are you building in the quiet months?
What is the dream you are still in the middle of? I want you to write it down today. Put it on a sticky note where only you can see it. Name it. Claim it.
Because that is the first step across the boundary.
Now, before we go, I have to tease next week because I'm so excited for this. Next week on the Deep Dive, we have a very special guest. We are bringing on a 9-year-old reader for a conversation about the books.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic.
A real kid who actually read it, which honestly is the whole point of making it. Until then, sweet lucid dreams.